everyone, it's your girl Celeste. I know it's been a long time since I've made a video. This video is just going to be a life update, and I'm going to talk about grief and just explain a little bit more why I'm talking about grief. But yeah, I'm super happy to be making videos again. I had to go on a little bit of a break, and I'll explain why, but it's good to see you guys all again. So, for the life update, I want to start off by saying I moved out of San Diego. For those who know me or who have watched me, I've been living in San Diego for a long time. I moved back to my parents' house, which is not in San Diego, but it's still in California. And I'm going to be temporarily at my parents' house. I plan to move back to San Diego very soon, but it definitely wasn't in my plans to move out of SD. That's my home. Like, I consider it, one of the most beautiful places to live, and I'm definitely going to be going back. So, it's funny because I feel like I had this plan for how the next year or two was going to go, and everything kind of just, it didn't work out that way, and I had to move back home, which I'm grateful for, that I have a place that I can go to if things don't work out, and I love that, and I'm thankful to my parents for that. But yeah, honestly, it's been a really tough year. I've gone through a lot of different traumatic events, emotionally draining, mentally draining events, and on top of that, I work in mental health. So it was a tough year, but also a great year. I went on a lot of trips. I went to a lot of concerts. I hung out with a lot of my friends, made new memories. So it's definitely an interesting year. I think that just goes to show the duality of life, how you can have things be really great and then some things be really not so great. So I'm taking it day by day and as best as I can. But yeah, that's my little life update. I can't wait to be back in San Diego. But like I said, I'm grateful for this time that I get to kind of just relax for a little bit. So you guys know by now that sometimes I have really videos that are really heavy topics, and then some videos that are not heavy topics. And just to forewarn everyone, this video is going to be a heavy topic, but only because this is something I'm currently going through, and I'm sure a lot of people go through this every day, have gone through this, and I think it's good to talk about, shed some light on the things that we don't really want to talk about, but we're going through. So on that note, also, if I get emotional, it's because it's very fresh. So that's also a warning. But basically, about a month ago, almost exactly a month ago, I had one of my close and dear friends, Rachel, pass away. She was, I met her through work, but we honestly became best friends really fast. I would text her every day. I considered her like one of my support people. Yeah, she was just amazing, an amazing light, amazing soul. She was 26 years old when she passed. It was sudden, no one expected it. So it was a huge blow to the company because she's been at the company for a long time, or the program that I was working in, and my other friends, work friends. It honestly has been really difficult and has brought us closer together, but at the same time, we're all heartbroken. So I wanted to talk about grief today because I feel like we've all lost someone before, or if not, it's inevitable that we're going to lose someone in our lifetime. And grief can be a very uncomfortable thing, and it's, not really talked about as much. It's something that I feel like when people bring it up, other people, feel sad. And so some people just don't want to bring it up, which I understand. Like you don't want to be the Debbie Downer in a room or something. But I just wanted to make this video to just talk about grief, the stages of grief, and kind of like what I'm going through right now with losing my friend. I also want to say I'm dedicating this video to her. Before she passed, I had posted a YouTube video, and she immediately was like, what the heck? Why didn't you tell me that you did YouTube? Like, I'm going to subscribe right now. Send me the link. So I sent it to her, and she watched it, and she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you. And like, I love you. And she was really supportive. So I feel like it's only fitting that I do my next video about her and her memory, and also that I just keep doing this because I love to do it, and she would want me to do things that I love. So this is for you, Rachel. Okay, so I'm sure you all have heard about grief before, and if not, I will be able to hopefully inform you a little bit. But basically, there's 5 stages of grief, and the stages are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. So just to kind of like touch on those a little bit, denial is denying that the person is gone, or denying that that thing is gone. I also want to say that grief doesn't necessarily have to be someone passing away. You could be grieving a job that you loved and you don't have anymore. You could be grieving a pet. You could be grieving the person that you thought you were going to be. Like, let's say you thought you were going to marry someone and be with them for the rest of your life, and it didn't work out, and so you break up. You could be grieving that life that you envisioned with that person. So there's many different ways and things that you can grieve. Many different things you can grieve. That's not just a person. And I've learned that throughout the years. I didn't know that, growing up. I learned that going to therapy, and, so. Yes, denial. So that's just basically denying that the person's even gone, or that you didn't get the job, or that the relationship is over. It's kind of like, no, it's not true. It's not true. I feel like that's kind of like the first initial thing that happens. I know that that was what I experienced when I found out about my friend. I kind of thought, no, it's not true. Like, she's fine. Like, I just texted her, things like that. And of course, there's anger. There's going to be anger probably for a long time with grief. And it comes in and out, and anger can look different to many people depending on how you show your anger. But it's angry at life, angry at the world, angry at God. Why did this happen? Why did they have to take away such a beautiful soul so young? So I know that's where I have the anger. So bargaining can be like, God, if you bring them back, I promise, like, I'm never going to lie again. Or bargaining with the situation, like, oh, if I would have texted them, at this time, would things have turned out differently? Or just kind of also like playing, like being guilty, feeling guilt or shame. Like, what if I would have done this with them? Would they still be here? Or what if I would have supported them more? Or what if I would have worked on the relationship more? Things like that. Depression. So I feel like we all have a general idea of what depression is. I talk about it a lot on my channel. But basically, it's like a deep, overwhelming sense of sadness. Depression can look like not eating, overeating, not sleeping, oversleeping, just being sad, having a dark cloud over you. Just there's so many ways that depression can manifest, but it's definitely an overall sense of sadness. And then acceptance. Eventually, however long that may take, some people can get to acceptance very fast. Some people, never come to terms with acceptance. But it's basically accepting the situation and accepting that that person's no longer there, accepting that that relationship is over, accepting that you didn't get the job or things didn't work out the way you wanted them to work out. And all of these stages are not like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're linear. They're not linear. So you can go in and out of a stage whenever. You don't have to start with denial. You can start with bargaining, or you can even start with depression or anger, all of it, or it can all be at once. You can feel them all at once. So I think that's why grief is such a complicated thing, because there's so many emotions that come to play. And it's just really difficult to deal with, on top of just having to deal with if like you're moving out of a place, or if you're changing jobs, or if you're setting up funeral arrangements. Like, on top of doing that, you're also having that grief of the 5 stages. So I think what's really important, and which is what I've been doing lately, is giving myself grace, allowing myself to feel what I feel and not feel guilty or shameful about when I feel it or how I feel it. I'm, of course, like seeing a therapist, I see a psychiatrist, all of that to also help me maintain and keep myself grounded. I have a great support system. I've been really leaning on my friends from work who also lost their loved one. So it's a lot of emotions, a lot of things. But it's normal. It's all normal to feel all those things and to be grieving and to grieve for a long time or grieve forever. Some people say that grief never leaves. It just kind of like sits on the back burner for a little bit and then comes back and, comes in waves. So, I'm still coping and trying to go through all these stages myself. But just know you're not alone. A lot of us have felt grief at some point in their lives. If anything, I will say all of us in some form have felt grief. It could be like as small as losing a favorite toy when we were a child to losing a parent. But there's, of course, resources out there that you can see a therapist, you could see a psychiatrist, you can call 988 if you're really feeling like you need to talk to someone. 988 is the national hotline for, suicide national hotline. But yeah, so grief is hard, and we're all doing our best, and that's all we can do. I think taking a break is great. Like when you do lose someone or lose something, or that's what I'm doing right now. I'm on like a leave from work, and I honestly don't know how I could have continued working, because that's where I met Rachel. So being there 40 hours a week, I saw her very often. So being constantly reminded of her where I work, which is also in crisis mental health, and having to be there for other people, yeah, there's like no way I could do that. So I'm on a much needed leave. and a lot of things are changing, but if I could say anything to end this video off, it's just that I am grateful that I was able to meet such a beautiful soul and light, like Rachel. She was honestly, I think sometimes there's people in this world that are too beautiful for this world, and they leave us early because they need to be transcended sooner. That's my spirituality side talking, but I just feel like she was too beautiful for this world. So she needed to go and be with the angels and God, because that's where she is supposed to be. But I am grateful that she was able to touch my life. There are things that I'm going to take away from meeting her forever. She taught me how to love myself more. She taught me how to give myself grace more, how to talk better to myself. And she touched so many lives in the mental health field. She was amazing at what she did. So I know she's in a better place, and I know that she's going to be my guardian angel forever. But yeah, she was amazing, and I'm just so lucky that I was able to meet her and experience her light before she left. But thank you all for watching this video. I know it's kind of heavy, but like I said, I just feel like I needed to make this video about her and talk about grief because, yeah, I just felt like called to do it. You guys are welcome to comment or reach out to me if you ever want to talk about grief and your grieving journey. If I have the space, like, I will definitely talk to you about my grieving journey. I'm trying to hold a lot of space just for myself right now, but I would love to hear your comments, or, your take on grieving. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all soon.